Please get a round of applause.
I'm going to follow that. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. This room is kind of takes me back a little bit just looking at this place. It's funny because walking in, I was thinking, all right, maybe I should type something up or kind of have something scripted that I was going to talk to you about, but started thinking it's just being personal, myself, and being honest. Once again, it's an honor, the Mel Dick Tower. Somebody, he comes into the restaurant all the time, so it's amazing to see that. You only see it on paper, or for example, Mr. Chaplin, his name's on the side of the building. So we're interactions with him all the time at the table. You don't think that this is something that they're actually backing 100%. So when I see him, it's going to be something amazing to talk about. So thank you once again, John, for giving me the opportunity to talk to you all. So kind of things that I do I think I wanted to start it off first with Bourbon Steak itself. I don't know if you guys are aware of our brand, Mina. We have about 26 restaurants and going throughout the United States. Future endeavors, we're going off into Boston, and then we're thinking about Hawaii. So those are two new options that we have for the group itself. Our restaurant alone, we're in Aventura, the Tunbridge House Resort. I don't know if you're aware with the restaurant or not, but it's about 7 years that we've been open for. So if you think about a lot of restaurants and you're aware of Midtown, South Beach, 7 years is a long time in what we do. If this is something that you're looking forward to or that you think as your future, starting off with what you're doing right now is number one, your degree, knowledge, information. I have personal friends that graduated from universities, Michigan State, for an example, and as soon as they finish school, managers at our hotel that we work at. Now the one example, she moved on to California and she's an events coordinator for shows like the Grammys and other big things. But it all started with her wanting to go to the first thing that's most important in school. So congratulations on yourselves for doing that. That's the first step onto this path that you're going to be taking. Now, my route, give you a little background as far as what I've been kind of gone through to the position that I am now. It started with loving what restaurants and customer service is as a whole. So if you look at that, the best thing you can do in the future now, later on, is just being yourself and being honest and how you feel you should be treated as a guest, a consumer, or the person taking care of them. So that's number one, always. Now, I want to say probably early on, barbecue place, I can remember that far back because there was a lot of restaurants that I went through and I learned a lot from. When I had the opportunity at the resort, there was no openings at the time. And I really was pushing to be a server anywhere in the place, whatever the case was. I will say that this does happen. The judge kind of, when the first interview process happened, tattoos, everything else, at the time, we're talking about 6 years ago, was not, I guess, something that they wanted so up front. So they didn't have any positions open. And I got a call later on and they're like, we have something for recreation. If you're aware of that, it's basically pools, passing out towels. My thoughts are like, that's not really what I wanted. It's a well-known brand, Turnberry, Sofer. So you know what, I'm gonna take it, put my foot in the door. 6 months, you have to wait till you transfer. Put my time in, handing out towels, welcome, smiling, doing everything I had to do. But finally, when it comes, you have to be ready. The opening as a pool server, take that. Then the extra mile, helping the whole resort, whatever they needed. Any manager needed something, I went for it. Next thing you know, I'm in the sofa room, which is where all of our resort members and club owners go. So we're talking about people that are paying about $150,000 to be part of our resort in one room. So I was surrounded by an era of different things that I hadn't been used to being at the pool or other restaurants that I've been to in the past. Once again, my knowledge wasn't up there when it comes to the wine, maybe not even food, for example. But it was me being myself, wanting to work and just being customer service oriented, which that's all it is in any position, in any job you're gonna work. It's all about customer service and what you can do for people to make them happy and come back. So fast forward, there was a general manager at Bourbon Steak, which is now the director of nightlife and signature restaurants at the Fountain Blue. His name is John Ricardo. So any place from our strip steak, MM74, Pakistan, Liv. So we might pick where with that. He runs, oversees them all. Was our general manager at Bourbon Steak. I decided to take a shot. Went to him, ready, let me have an interview, please. I don't think you're ready for that. I mean, we're talking about, he's pointing out glassware. What type of glass is that? I'm like, red wine glass? What type of glass is that? White wine glass? But what's the name? I don't know. Try again. Came back a couple weeks later, and I had learned the Bordeaux, learned the Burgundy, the 5 grapes in the Cabernet and Cabernet Sauvignon, just everything in general that I needed. And I told him, John, I didn't know all of this last week, but I know it today. I'm going to give you 150%. I will learn everything you want me to learn, but I need a shot. He gave it to me. When I started, frowned upon. I was one of the youngest guys there. We're talking about gentlemen that take this job not as a server, but as a career. Served in places all around the world. France, I mean, the guys that we had there at that time were caliber. They didn't respect me. They didn't think I had enough for what I wanted to accomplish. But I showed them that by working. That's it. My work ethic and the willingness to learn wine, food, and everything else. So I'll give you a perfect example, and Jonathan falls under that category. I started going in a half an hour earlier, going to the kitchen, as I became friends with the cooks really quick. As you can see, I like to eat. And I started talking to them, and so what goes in that salad? What are the components? Please let me know, how do you, for example, pickle that onion? Something as simple as that. When I got asked a question, I had the answer. And that was the key important thing for me to do. I even showed up one time at a chef's cook and started cooking. Just helping them chop up vegetables, for example. The only other person I've seen do that is Jonathan. That's the only reason I bring it up. There's a lot of good things about me, Jonathan. I had to give back the favor. So it means, but that was the progression that we saw. Jonathan moving up from a food runner to a server. So it was the same thing. Now, because I was serving and the positions that people had, they weren't going to leave, that I stopped wanting to learn or, for example, study or read? No, because the day does come, and it's up to you to take that opportunity. And the day did come where my captain left, and the position was there for somebody to take it, and I did. So that being said is, once again, I all based it off of, I still am not the most knowledgeable person about anything except for what we do, and it goes back to the people, the guest. Am I going to push away anybody from coming in the restaurant that can become a weekly person that we already have? So if Jonathan he can tell you 30% of our revenue is locals and regulars, regardless of the hotel. If you look at it, last year we didn't reach 7 million, but this year we're going to reach 7.3. Just to give you an example of what the restaurant is doing. So if I put it on the math on paper, it can easily show that 500,000 is what I personally bring to the restaurant, just because of the people that I have coming in for me. It's just like people come in for specific people in the restaurant, and as a whole, they come in for the experience. Now, as far as what we accomplish with revenue, locals, regulars, it's always about the details, the smaller things. So when I go somewhere, I want to be treated like I would treat them when they're in our restaurant. Meaning the table spotless, cleanliness, details. Everything has to be perfect down to the T. If something is spilled, it's wiped. Food is dropped, it's cleaned. Not onto the floor. It goes off into that. So those little things is what make us different from any other place. I don't know what your future things that you have in mind. Is it to open your own place, or to be part of a bigger company, or to run a banquets or events coordinating? But at the end of the day, is the small details, your customer service, your feeling of being human and showing them that you care, no matter how you feel inside. But just giving that feeling to them is the most important thing. So the only other, I would say, stepping stone that I had is working alongside people and then having to lead them. How do you do that? It's a huge question. That's kind of the main other goal that I wanted to kind of point out for you today is you work alongside somebody. They know your work ethic, but you also joke around. Hey, you might go out and have drinks with them afterwards, or see them in a different level, and they'll see you the same. But then you're their boss. You have to tell them what to do. How do you do that? When I started, I put on the suit, walking around the room. It was really, at that time, nervous, butterflies, the works. I didn't know how to explain it. How do I do this? How do I go about this? And I want to change everything. See a guy on his cell phone, see a guy walking around, eating, doing this, doing that, and my first instinct was aggressive. So that's the stages that I went through. Okay, let me maybe raise my voice. That's going to help. Everyone has their own style, but that's not how it'll work for certain people. For me, it wasn't about that. It was about motivating and having people lead that will follow me from me leading them by me showing them, once again, my work ethic. So the flow of the restaurant is very important. If somebody is, I'm telling you, like over there, I'm there for you. I'm going to have your back and I'm going to turn it around. If something is wrong, I'm going to talk to you about it and bring it up. If I may, can you listen? If you need to use your phone, just tell me. And I'll let you go out back and make a call or answer a message or do it, but you have to talk to me. I need you on the floor with the guest. So it was always about making sure that they understood that I wasn't trying to belittle anybody or come at them the wrong way, but just to have them know that I'm here to motivate in the correct form. And that was the biggest thing. And I've gone to the point now where I mentioned something and it's done and it happens the way that I wanted to, only because of that. I had to gain everybody's respect individually, not as a whole. And that's how it works, because all of you have different personalities. So it's going to be hard for me to come at you a certain way and you another. It has to be the right form and the right way with each and every individual, which is very, very important. Now, after I had that set in stone, I got to focus on small details that I want. Like I said, the cleanliness of the tables, the exact way everything should be, markings, clearing. I mean, everything should be organized and go through a certain flow. Is there something, if I may ask, for example, for yourself, what do you have that you see in the future for yourself? Is this something that you want to be a part of when it comes to the restaurant business or to own a restaurant?
I mean, maybe not in the hospitality game.
Okay.
I do intend on being a business owner and a venture capitalist and entrepreneur.
Perfect. So you just mentioned the same, different obviously career goals,
Yeah.
but what you're going to be getting into is the same kind of aspect of exactly talking, customer service, closing a deal, doing what you have to do. Now, that being said, with all the many different walks of life that you're going to encounter, how do you go about that? That is the thing where you have to get yourself ready in your mind and have an infinite amount of knowledge. That's why I try to read every day, whatever I can, whether it relates to me or not, just to have topics, because you meet all types of people that might give you that chance, might give you that break, that investment that you've been looking for, and in that blink of an eye, you could lose it. So, once again, Mel, Dick, Chaplin, they're in the restaurant all the time. There's a lot of business owners, and I've had the position where somebody's brought up, so I know you're really passionate about this. How about if I gave you a concept or an investment to start a restaurant? Am I ready? Do I have all that already there? How much do I want this? That I have a business plan in my back pocket. That I have them ready to, let's have lunch tomorrow and let's talk. So these are things that you have to set up for. Never let them come back or kind of lose sight of. And it can happen very easily when you find a certain job. You find a certain job, you're comfortable. I see it around me all the time. And I'm not judging or going against people feeling comfortable and having a job that pays well, and they're okay with that. I'm not. I need to know what's next. What's the next step up? Where can I go from here? That's the way I've always been from passing out towels till now. So if there's anything that I've learned from the experiences, the moment's going to come up, you have to take it. You have to take it, and you have to be able to concentrate on people, that's the most important thing. The guest in any form, in any situation. That's it. If you guys have any questions?
So where do you see yourself next after Bourbon City?
There's two routes that there is. The company's growing. Like I said, 26 restaurants. We have 2 restaurants inside the Levi Stadium, San Francisco. As soon as it opened, they gave us 2. The thing is insane. Then we have also a market up North Florida. And you go in and it's a market that they buy from fresh local products, and then there's restaurants inside. So every day they start calling, they're like, hey, we need a couple people to come in. We need people to be part of our task force. From here, you go to restaurant manager, AGM, GM. I mean, the good thing about our company has been that our general manager, which on the other side of kind of how the restaurant works, could talk to you about so many things. And I'll make sure he comes down here and gives out his side of what he's been through. 20 years in the company, and I've never seen anything like that. He went from there, reached the top. So they're always calling, hey, we're going to open something new. You're a restaurant manager here. Come in and be an assistant general manager here. Come be a GM over here. There's that route. The company, there's a lot of growth there. So I really, really am happy about that. I love the task force aspect where they send 20 people to go open a restaurant. It's more than that, but just to give you a ballpark number. That's what the Mina group has already. They have their own formula on how to open restaurants with no issues. Jonathan can tell you we have somebody that tried the same thing in our same resort, didn't have the same success. We're used to this. 26 and ongoing. Now that's the one direction, growth between that, and the other is to own your own place, which is where I'm slated to. That's going to happen. That's really my key thing. But you can see it all around. I mean, I have people Midtown, Pub Belly Group. If you guys ever been to any Pub Belly restaurant, they certainly have 3 or 4. There's a couple guys that got together and decided they wanted to do their own style, or Hugo Fresh. I don't know if you guys heard about that. But now there's at least 8 or 9 of them, and the guy's making a killing off of fresh juices that have cool names. That's all it is. But that was his thing. That's his idea. He wakes up every morning and he's happy with that. What are you going to make? What's your brand? What's your imprint going to be? That's what I think about every day. I'm happy with what I'm doing now, but is it mine? I put in 80 hours all the time or more because I want to. It's not that they act, but I want. That's my work ethic. But is it mine? Who am I? Told you I bring in $500,000 a year to the restaurant because of all the emails and texts and reservations I make and confirm and doing all the connections I do. But is it for me? To an extent. I mean, hey, listen, I don't do it just with that thought. I'm certainly, empowered by that, but I'm humble about it as well. But once again, it's not me. So you got to have something at the end, and that's. You asked me, the answer to the question is my own place. Specific details, and all of you can come and try it out.
Fine dining or no?
No, honestly, if it was up to me, I'd have a tiki bar by the beach. Just open it, start serving you guys a couple beers. If you can drink, I'm not sure. But that would be, no. The honest truth is something casual with certain guidelines that fine dining does have, just certain rules that we follow by, but that has just amazing food and good service, because that's all you want. I mean, food can be amazing, food can be great, but if the server or the service in general, you might not go back. Service can certainly take everything home, no matter what curveball comes up. Jonathan can tell you that overcooked steak, I can come back from that. I can come back from salty food. I can come back from cold food. I can come back from everything. But they tell me that the server or somebody was rude or disgusting to them, that's a little harder to do. Still can, but it's a little bit harder. Go ahead.
Do you have a time limit that you're thinking in the sense that you want to open up your own business and start your own restaurant?
I think with especially with what you guys do, they tell you all the time to set your goals and put a time limit on things. Yes, I do, certainly. I'm 27 right now. By 30, I've done it. That's what I've done every time. So at 17, I said by 21, by so forth and so forth. By 30 is my timeline. By 30, I have to be doing that, or already the wheels are turning for that. Because you, believe it or not, in a blink of an eye, years are like, I mean, it's insane when I look back at it. And I think, so I'm happy where I'm at now. But I want to do more at 27, yes, but that'll only push you to do more. So the answer is 30. 30, I have to be doing something else. And at that point, I got to be doing something else that is going up and that makes you happy. Not necessarily all about money, I will tell you that, but it just gives you a peace of mind when you go home, because that is huge.
Any other questions?
Talk some more about the context that you can make in the restaurant and just how significant it can be creating the experience for your guests. And it's like creating the experience can lead to a much more significant relationship, and sometimes these people can become your best friend like that. And you can learn a lot from them. So just like I guess any other language, it's happened a lot, bro.
What you've seen there, especially where once again, thankfully where we work, we've run into, just a lot of people that even have on their contacts, which is huge for them to feel comfortable enough to give you all their information. And the ones that I have emails and write back with, if you look, Mark Wagner, for example, he's a part owner of the Milwaukee Brewers, just a really relaxed guy. He had the most expensive wedding in Aventura, period. Just to be able to even talk to them or have that opportunity on a personal level, not as a guest, because guests come in and out, but to actually have them by name, by phone, by call, emails is pretty huge. And it all started with just understanding what they wanted, because what we do is decipher what people want. You don't recommend or order for people. You try to find out what their likes are, and you guide them to make their own choices. So that's all I ever did, and it's gotten me to that extent. So just putting in with that, Richard Perillo, these guys, you could just Google and their stuff will come up at the top. He's probably one of the biggest guys in Chicago that finances certain senators and other things of that sort for, when the sponsors for campaigns would be the easiest way to put it. So he has a big insurance company here in Miami, probably one of the hugest ones that I can think of, because I've never seen an insurance company, when you look at the actual building, that big. I mean, humongous, looks like a Costco. And the gentleman, he's at the restaurant, and he's like, Giuseppe, pulls out his phone, he's going through a couple senators, congressmen, got to make a call. It was his birthday the other day. Mark Cuban sending him a video. These are things I'm like, thanks, Mr. P. I'm going to see what I do for my birthday this year. I appreciate it. So it goes back to that. You don't know who's going to be in the restaurant. You don't know who you're talking to. And next thing you know, it's somebody that can make a difference in the long run. That's why guy had sandals, and we're at a place where in the beginning, people would think like, oh, look at this guy, sandals and shorts. And then him and his wife spent $2,000. And you have a four-top with their kids, and they order 2 salmon, and they have water. And I'll see the server, which is priceless. The server will be like, hey, 2 salmon. And all they're having is water. Goes to the computer, punches in the salmon. And the guy asks for a wine list. I go over to the table. I'll take this Schaefer 95, $1,100. So yeah, $200 on salmon, or with the sides and everything in total, and then $1,100 on wine. So you can't judge or assume anything. You don't know who's walking in or what are they having, but you appreciate it when they do. Because at the end of the day, that's huge.
So how do you usually engage in conversation with people like that caliber when you meet successful people, whatever industry they're in? Is it a sense that where, you come into interaction with them in the restaurant or table, or how do you engage in conversation with them?
I've always been the type to, whatever they give me, I'm going to give back. Okay. Even as a server or now as a captain, I don't take it too far. I'm not funny. It's all about give and take. Yeah. So they open up, I'm opening up too. They are closed off, I'm not going to annoy you. Some people will order, they won't even look at you. I'll take this. Certainly. That's it. But others, hello, how are you? Nice. When they start with that, I'm hello, how are you? Love it. I already know how to act towards a certain guest. Now, the other ones that I know are big caliber, listen, it's a regular person. Just, we look at it the same, we treat them the same. I'm gonna show them who I am by my style of how I serve them. Because food is a very personal thing. You're dealing with something people eat, something that it can connect them to other memories depending what they're having. It's so personal that I'm in charge of that. Let's go. Now, easy example for that, as far as celebrities of sorts that come in as well. How do you go about that? But it's all about give or take. If all they're doing is I'll take the salmon, looking away and talking to their guests, I'm not going to interrupt. But it can be tricky sometimes. That is true. But we have a lot of business meetings, and Jonathan will tell you at what point do you go, it's got to be assertive. So, gentlemen, I know we're talking about business, but if I may, I'd be more than happy to explain the menu for you or give you a little more time. Whatever you need, just let me know. We're all here. They have to be, you can't just let them talk, because then they might talk, and some guys like, I'm wishing the server interrupted so we can order. So it's a lot of back and forth, but you get used to it. You get used to it. And believe me, a lot of them have taken me back like, this guy really owns, he can tell you for catcher, I got to catch my private jet. I got to do this. He's talking to you like it's a regular thing for him. Yeah. How about you? But $2,000 in a restaurant, guys, somebody might have to pay my rent the next day. That's not going to be happening anytime soon. But they've gotten into that, and they're really humble about it.
All right.
Guys, thank you. I just want to say thank you, Jonathan, for inviting me to this. It means a lot to me. This is fun. Kind of give up a little bit.
All right, and thank you everyone for coming. Our next conference is November 5th. Stay tuned with our HFTP emails. We'll kind of keep you updated. We definitely appreciate you all, coming each month. We really, really appreciate that. Also check out our new website, HFTPfuture.com. It's really cool. Got to thank Jonathan for that one. He's really been the lifeblood of, kind of our organization, getting all these conferences ready and scheduling and stuff like that. So thank you again. Have a great afternoon.
Already just. Yeah.